Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by 1 billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. It's time for a girl on time. It's time for a
Hello! How is everybody doing today? I'm always fighting autocorrect too. I'm always fighting lighting. I look grainy as fuck. I can't fix it. I've tried 1,000 things. None of it works. Even making me small doesn't make it work. It's just, I'm fucking upset about it. These people are pissing me off. Lord Jesus. It is Friday. There is that. I do have an entire energy drink to drink. Thank you. Oh, well, that makes me feel a bit better. Elvira look. Is it Elvira? I don't know what even color it is with all the lighting issues I'm having. But I'm here. We're here. We're here together. I did catch a little bit of an interesting divorce case today. I did not get it all, unfortunately. I just didn't. But I did do, that depends on your kinks, Jim. That depends on your kinks. Thank you, Vicky. So I think that I don't have it ready for us today, but probably tomorrow it will be an interesting little watch. I got one of the witnesses for the case. It's the current wife. It's a divorce case, and it was a current wife of the guy. And they were just, again, petty as fuck, as most of these divorces are. But that's besides the point. That's not what we're working on today. No, ladies and gentlemen, no. See how grainy it is? It's so annoying. I've had the light up as high as it goes. I've had it down. I've had it on a different way. I've done everything I can think of. Everything. Even without this hair on, it looks like that. I tried. Oh, there was a little tiny bit of a police chase there earlier, if anybody noticed, but it sort of died off into nothing. I was really hoping for a Friday police chase. I sort of like that. I feel like that's sort of like how our Fridays kick off these days with the police chase, but I guess we'll have to kick off with us. Tell me what you had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. I thought to myself, my wrist feels so bare. And it's because my Fitbit is charging right now. It died as usual. So I better remember to put that on in a couple minutes, or else, the whole day is worthless. Worthless. Yes, I believe so, Vicky. I do believe so. You having a hamburger? That's pretty good. I had noodles. I ate early. I had noodles and bread. That's what I had. I guess a little heavy on the carbs, but that's me. I love carbs. Ooh. Do you? Okay, I'm a minority here, but I don't particularly like ice cream sandwiches. I can maybe eat half of an ice cream sandwich. So if you like to have 1.5 ice cream sandwiches in a relationship and you're cool with me having 0.5, we could have a good relationship. But if you are the type of person, I've been with people that get mad when you don't eat all your food. I'm like, excuse me, I bought it. I can do whatever I want with it. After I've paid for it, it does not matter what happens to it. If I want to fucking put it here, put it there, throw it up, I can do it. Burger King. Oh, Vicky had pizza. Kay had Burger King. You get mini ice cream bars. I know, but I think there's something about eating in the entire one. I don't like the end bite. Just realizing that now about myself. I don't like the end bite, you know. We have a really expensive, like bougie ice cream sandwich place around here. And the ice cream sandwiches are like, I think $11 each for one of them. They are so expensive. And they sell jars of ice cream in little glass jars that are like, oh, ridiculous. Like $15, $20 for a pint of ice cream. And of course, the yuppie hippies are just lined up out the door to get these fucking ridiculously expensive ice cream sandwiches. And I guess people here don't mind the pricing as much, but when I went to the States, I just about lost my shit going to an Aldi for the first time. I'm like, look at all this cheese. I have to budget for cheese. Like, that's a little sad on my own. That's just my sadness, but anyway. Okay, speaking of sadness, let's continue with these sad fucking people. You know, let's just talk for 1 minute. Do you think they ever had a nice marriage? Do we? Because they are just miserable, it seems. And I wonder that, like, was there ever happy times? To some people, are they glutton for punishment? They just go for the gusto, I guess. The gusto. That's not how you say that, really. I just don't know how, if they were ever happy. Yeah. Also, he seems to have he's got other kids. So it's not like it was his first kid. Speaking of, I met my little nephew the other day. Love him so much. Baby Plaid, we'll continue to call him. My sister seems okay with that. And he is so cute. Mikey called me out today, said 34 is too old to have kids, and I'm 36. So I know I won't be having any more kids, but still, I love a wee babby. This is Michigan, Courtney. Pretty sure it's Michigan. Michigan. You think they got pregnant from a situationship and tried to make it work, but it didn't? Interesting. That's a possibility. One of my greatest achievements was only getting pregnant once. You had your last a month before you turned 39. It's not old. That's not old. I'm only 36. You're only 36. You're only 36. But, hi, KT. Change your picture. Like it. Some famous lady having a baby at 50. Oh, yeah, but if you're famous and rich, it's fine. Listen, Judge Boyd is halfway right. If your money can be solved if your problem can be solved by money and you have money, you don't really have problems, do you? I mean, that makes it sound so fucking simple. But I don't think I could start again and have another wee babby. I'm serious. I don't think I could. I will just steal my sister's baby and love on him uh, until I guess I become a grandma. Oh my God. Knock on wood. That doesn't happen for a while. Ew, that's horrible to think about, to be honest. Ugh. Although I'd be a good grandma. I'm sure I'd be a good. What would they? We don't need to think about that, Paisley. You're only 36. You could have a resurgence of ovary love and decide to have babies. No, I'm never gonna do it. Actually, that is one way that I used to get jobs all the time, because they're not allowed to ask you if you like where you are in your family journey, but you're allowed to volunteer the information. So when I would go in for job interviews, I'd be like, by the way, I'm done having babies. And they'd be like, oh, okay, good to know. Because women just seem to get pregnant like nobody's business in their 20s and 30s. And that's like prime working condition. Anyways, let's get watching this. I think I'm going to have to dip off the screen for a minute so that it will do it. Doing it. Yeah, Janet Jackson. Yeah, but Janet fucking Jackson had Janet Jackson money. I don't mean to make it sound simple, but it is somewhat simple. If you have money and resources, it's much easier. Now, your energy is not easier, but a lot of the problems that you might run into are easier if you have money. This is the way that it is. It's the way it is. And kids are such little shitheads, They are. Science was involved. One law. Listen, hey, if anybody was at the members only earlier for Credence and Mikey, some science is happening over there too. Oh yeah, hell yeah, nanny, multiple nannies. We're talking about. I mean, you could have a chef, you could have a nanny, you could have a house cleaner, and you could have a driver. You know what I mean? So you don't have you could eliminate all the shit that is difficult to do. You could have a trainer. I mean, the only thing you can't do is get somebody to exercise for you. I guess there are machines that they could strap you into and then you do the exercise, right? Do those exist? Oh, I know, Kay. I used to sell very expensive strollers. I used to sell this one stroller, and this is back, 15 years ago, and the stroller was like, I think $2,000, maybe $1,500, $2,000. And we had it in it. All of those, all of their advertising material was just pictures of celebrities using the stroller. And literally, it was just like little like TMZ shots of celebrities using this stroller. And but it was in fact a well-made stroller, and it had these like cantilevered wheels. I remember this because what I would do to sell it, I would fucking jump on the stroller on the wheel, like one of the wheels, and wrench on it. I would just like jump up and down as hard as I can, trying to break it. And they, pregnant lady and her husband, what the heck's going on? I'm like, this is so strong. You're never gonna break this. You see these cantilevered wheels? Of course, I came from selling cars, so but the stroller was super duper expensive, and like I said, but here this was actually my like main sales pitch for getting people to buy expensive strollers. So first time parents, they would be in there, and I'd say, now, statistically, the average person or average family is going to go through 5 strollers before they finally settle on the one that, they usually want in the beginning. It's usually the more expensive one, but they think, oh, we can do without that one. We don't need all the bells and whistles. We'll start with this one. And then that one doesn't work very good. So you go to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And then finally, you realize how important a stroller is to your life and the baby's life and making it easier. And you settle on the expensive one, except that you've already bought the 4 other ones. So why don't we skip those 4 and we just go to this one and everybody's happy? It's super simple. That worked a lot of the time. A lot of the time. Right? You'll take 2. Exactly. And how happy will you be, Gecko? So happy. Yeah, I do love. You only had 1 per kid. Yeah, but did you start out with like what I mean is like most people they do. I mean, they really do buy multiple strollers until they end up getting the nice expensive one. Now, expensive is a range. You could spend $400 and that would be a really quite good expensive one, or you could spend $2,000 and it would be the bee's knees one. The one I used to really sell to people was from Australia. And the best thing about it was that it was convertible from a single push stroller, and you could add a like skateboard on the back for another kid and a basket for a third. So you could turn a single stroller into a double and then into basically a triple stroller with different add-ons for the stroller. So if you were just having your first kid, it was a really good option to sell people if they were thinking, oh, well, maybe we want to have more kids down the road. Well, this can convert and you can add on to this as opposed to having to buy another one or a double, those super wide ones. No. Anyways, I will say this though, I personally did not get the good stroller. I remember I was cheap. I bought the cheap one because I'm cheap. And my husband didn't stand up at the time and realize like, oh, this is going to make her happy. We got to go for this one. He let me be cheap and buy the cheap one. And we literally went through multiples of it until I finally got my Bob stroller, which is the one that I really wanted. But I bought it off like Craigslist or something like that used. Those old umbrella strollers are nuts, right? The only thing is that you have to be careful about is just like with wee babbies, you don't need a stroller early because they're in the car seat and then you're going from there. So it's not the most important purchase, but it's one of the most fun purchases. I remember when we first bought the stroller, the baby hadn't arrived yet. So I had the stroller at the house and I had like a teddy bear and I would dress up the teddy bear and I would strap it into the car seat and I would fucking walk around the apartment. We had this tiny little apartment. Honestly, it might be the size of my room now. And this tiny little apartment, I would push this stroller around. And even with just a wee thing, like a teddy bear in it, I was like, oh, it was shitty. But I thought, oh, that's because it's, not got the baby in it. No, it didn't get better with the baby. Anyways, I will say one thing. What you need to have a baby, mainly, a few little onesies, some cloths, clean cloths. If you don't have a bed, a drawer will do just fine. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Go grab a drawer from a dresser and you put that on the ground and you lay the thing in there and that's a bed for a baby. And what else? I mean, that's really it. That is really it. Because babies do grow out of all that stuff. They absolutely do. Hi, Billy. Oh, this didn't happen. I'm not saying thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Oh my gosh. Hi, Ed. What's going on? What's going on? If you guys are just getting here, please go ahead and clock in for your shift. I've just been talking for 20 minutes. You haven't even missed anything. You haven't even missed anything. Oh, yeah, gowns. Yeah, sleep sacks. Oh, you mean just open at the bottom gowns? Yes, I like those ones. Those are great. I love those. Those are awesome. They just have like sort of an elastic at the bottom for the infant babies. Yes, those are really good. Again, you get to the point where you figure out what you need, what bothers you, and then you move on from it. My sister, I don't know, I'll have to check in with her tonight. As of yesterday, when I was visiting La Baby, she had not changed a single diaper. I changed a diaper while I was there, but her man has really taken on the role. He's very excited for it, and so he's been doing all of the diaper changing, which is great. Hi, Lisa. My sister is good. She did have a C-section, so she is recovering from that. But I was reminded when I was visiting with her, because she's in her upstairs bedroom and they have an ensuite bathroom right beside it. And they have a laundry chute in the bathroom that goes downstairs to the laundry room. Oh my God. I was like, humble brag much. You know, just laundry chute right there. So smart. But I did say to her, I was like, babe, you're gonna have to put a little lock on that, or an alarm or something when this little boy gets older, because he going down that. I mean, I would go down it, so you gotta be careful. But yeah, she's doing good. He does have a tongue tie sort of thing, so they were snipping the bottom of his tongue today, but he's going to be fine. It's a very normal procedure for wee babbies, and she'll be fine. He will be fine. My sister's probably the one I'm more worried about. You love your laundry chute, right? But Donald, that is a huge humble brag to have a laundry chute. I love it. Anyways, like I said, it's interesting to me because yesterday I went and visited a family, my sister and her man and their new baby, and there's a lot of happiness there. And I have to imagine that this couple had happiness at the beginning too. It always makes me sad that that situations get like this. But well, this is the lot I've chosen in life to watch these cases. So thanks for joining me, folks. Let's get watching. Hit play, Paisley. Oh, that's amazing, actually. I was the cleanest I've ever been when I lived in an apartment with a garbage room.
Ms. Garcia, you need to unmute.
You are still muted, ma'am.
Hit the mic on the lower left side of your screen.
It's a wig, but thank you.
You're still muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Ms. Garcia, we're going to take some testimony from you, so we'll need to have you raise your right hand. We'll have you sworn in, then we'll proceed.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Storm.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Could you please state your name for the record?
Stephanie Garcia.
And how are you employed?
I'm the Human Resources Manager at Advanced Special Tools.
And are you familiar with Mr. Porter Ward?
Yes.
How or do you know him?
I'm the HR manager at Advanced Special Tools.
And is that where he works?
Yes,
Okay. And is that the only way that you are familiar with Mr. Porter Ward?
yes.
Can you tell the court what his current work schedule is as far as what shift?
Oh my God. I am now even more disappointed in these lawyers. Are you fucking joking me right now? They are having somebody from HR testify about this. Whoa. Somebody just slammed the door in my house. No, but seriously, this is ridiculous. This is out of control. These people need to why are they calling in? Why can't he testify about his work schedule? Why on earth would they need to call in an HR rep from his work? First of all, we all know that, and no offense if anybody here works in HR, but y'all be fucking crazy, okay? We can tell that I don't get along with people in HR. They don't like me. They don't like much of what I do. I've been talked to by HR a lot, okay? And so I always remind people that HR is there to help the company. They are not there to help you. They might say human resources, but they don't mean it. They're there to protect the company. So don't fall for it. That's what I always say. And the HR people just hate it when I point that out to people.
And what hours?
His current work schedule is first shift Monday through Friday, 6 o'clock a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m.
Okay. And you said that's Monday through Friday?
Yes,
Does he ever have to work weekends?
yes. He's also on call. He can be called in at any time for 2 hours if machines go down.
Okay. So he can be called in for, you said up to 2 hours?
Yes.
Okay. And is there any flexibility in the start or end time that he has for his shift?
No.
Does he have a time clock he has to punch in and out?
Yes.
Okay. Does he receive employer benefits such as health insurance?
Yes.
And do you know what his health insurance premium is?
Yes. It is $121.42 a month. That is what he is responsible for.
Okay. And do you know who that covers? I'm assuming it's my client, but does it include anyone else?
Yes, it includes Demetrius Ward.
Okay. And is that medical, vision, and dental?
Yes.
Okay. And how often is Porter paid?
He's paid weekly.
Humble brag. Actually, my ex-husband got paid weekly and I get paid monthly, and let's just say I'm not very good at it. I'm terrible at monthly budgeting compared to weekly or bi-weekly even. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Which channel, William? Wasn't here. You know we don't do that. Thank you.
And that 121.42 is the monthly cost?
Correct.
Okay. And has Porter always been on first shift?
He has not.
Okay. When did he start on first shift?
The first shift that he's on now started August 22nd of 2022.
Okay. And prior to working the first shift in August of 2022, what shift was he working?
He worked a swing shift temporarily from May 2nd of 2022 until August 19th of 2022. And that was 4 o'clock a.m. until 12 o'clock p.m.
Okay. And what was how many months was that, you said?
It was May 2nd of 2022 until August 19th of 2022.
Okay. And then prior to the swing shift, what was he working?
He worked third shift from November 15th, 2021 until April 28th of 2022.
And then is that the only other shifts he's worked, or has he made other changes in his shifts prior to that?
He's made other changes prior to that. He worked second shift also.
Okay. And how long was he on second shift prior to working third shift?
From November 8th, 2021 until November 12th of 2021.
Okay, so that was a very short period, just a
Mhm.
couple of days.
Yes.
Okay. And then before that, was he on first shift again?
He was from May 24th of 2021 until November 5th of 2021.
And before that, did he have any other changes in his shift, or was that the last one?
Before that, he was on second shift from September of 2020 until May 21st of 2021. He was on second shift.
Okay. And has Porter been a consistent employee through that entire time frame?
Yes.
No gaps in employment?
No.
Okay. Good employee, comes in on time?
Yes.
Okay. Any behavioral issues or disciplinary issues at work?
No.
Okay. One moment. If there's an emergency situation that comes up with a worker's child, and in this case, Demetrius is his child that we are specifically talking about. If there were something that would happen where Demetrius needed to be picked up early from school or had a other medical emergency or some other type of emergency, does Porter have the ability to leave work early to take care of that?
Yes.
Okay. Is that something that he's ever needed to do before? To your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. But that is something that if there was a problem or something where he needed to be available for Demetrius, his employment would be able to work with him on that?
Yes.
Okay. Would he have to do like makeup hours or something potentially?
He could make up hours. That would be something he would discuss with his supervisor.
Okay, but that's not necessarily something that's required.
No.
Okay. Okay. I believe that's all the questions I had for this witness. Thank you.
Besides any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a bunch of terrible cross-examination that I would like to do with this poor HR lady who's been pulled from her HR hovel to testify about mundane shit that we could have gotten from a T4. Is that what you call it in the United States? In Canada, we call it a T4. The form you get when you work somewhere and you earn money. It's called a T4. Yeah, that was me. I did a pretty good impression of this lawyer lady's voice. Oh, a W2. That's what you call it? No. Thank you. It's a wig, but I still take responsibility for it looking gorgeous. So I appreciate that. And I think I look gorgeous in it. A W2. Yeah, no, we have T4s, and then like if you're on unemployment insurance, or EI they call it, employment insurance, you get a T4E. Yeah, a T4. Your T4. T4. Thanks, Trish. I appreciate that. But I did get a weird form from Google this year. What number was it? Hold on here. We're going to sort this one out together. Because maybe not. We'll look at it later. I forgot. I think it's like a W-10. I think it was an exemption form, something like that. Anyways, let's just keep watching this. I'll look for it.
Yes, sir. Can you tell me that, you said that he might be on call for up to 2 hours on the weekends? Was that what you said?
No, he could get called in for like 15 minutes, but he gets paid up to 2 hours. I shouldn't have mentioned that, the 2 hours. I mean, he could be called in for 15 minutes or he could be called in for 8 hours. It could be up to 8 hours at a time.
Okay, and how frequently does that happen?
It doesn't happen that often. I mean, I could pull his time if I needed to and see how often it happens, but I
Well,
don't know
I-
exactly how often that happens.
I would, if you could refresh or look at your records, we would like to know how often he gets called in for the weekend.
So do you want like how often in the last year he was called in?
Yes.
We actually really don't, but you guys are why this is a terrible lawyer, by the way. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't file my taxes for like 6 years, but I paid taxes. And it seems that the government is more interested in if you pay them than if you file them. What I mean is they owed me money and they didn't fucking call me at all. They were just fine with me. It was 5+ years I went without filing taxes, but I paid, like I was working and paying taxes automatically, but I just never filed. And then I finally filed them all when the pandemic came. And yeah, I mean, there wasn't much else to do. But they were fine when they're like, as long as if you owe, like if you don't owe, I don't think you have to. I don't know. Never had a problem with it.
It looks like probably within the last year he was called in 12 times.
So is it usually at least, is it monthly or is there a pattern to that?
There's no pattern at all. It's just when a machine goes down.
Is he salaried or hourly?
He's hourly.
And can you tell me his hourly rate of pay?
Your Honor, I would object because I don't believe child support was an issue that we're discussing. So not sure what his hourly rate has to do with the parenting time schedule.
I'm gonna take the testimony because as
Okay.
it relates to custody, I'm gonna have to make a determination of child support, so I'll take the testimony.
Okay,
His hourly rate is $27.81 an hour.
Okay, sorry, I finally found it. It's a 1042. 1042. It's funny enough, it says Google cannot advise you on tax things. And it's like, Google, what the fuck? Who do you think we ask? We ask Google. That's who we ask. I know what they mean. Also, I don't know if they're dating. They do look real snug and cozy, but you know. And hi loud. Boop, back to work. A 1042. I don't know what that is. I think it's like for a foreign person earning American money. Oh. $36 old, still don't really understand that part of the taxes stuff, you know.
Does he work overtime each week?
No. Occasionally he works overtime, but there's,
And does he work a 40-hour work week?
yes,
Does Mr. Ward receive yearly bonuses?
no,
And is there any predicted raises that he will be receiving in the upcoming months?
no,
Is there any predicted schedule change in the upcoming months?
no, nothing predicted.
Is it true that a health insurance card is provided for Mr. Ward for the medical, dental, and vision insurance?
Yes,
And are you able to supply a secondary card for the other parent?
yes.
Have you done so in this case?
I'm not sure. They're issued one card. I can order another one, or the employee can get online and order another one.
Has Mr. Ward asked you to order an additional card? To your knowledge?
Not that I recall.
I have no further questions for this witness.
Okay, Ms. Storm?
But you're muted.
I'm so sorry. I just saw that I was muted. During the times that he was called in the 12 times in the last year, do you know whether or not those were mandatory weekends that he had to do, or if those were the call-in situation?
I don't know. Some of them were like an hour here, an hour there. I didn't look specifically to see. Some of them were 10 minutes. I don't know if those were mandatory, or I'm assuming those were call-ins because they weren't full shifts. And I just did a quick scroll but I can print out a report if you guys need it.
I don't think that will be necessary, but I do appreciate that offer. I was just trying to get a feel where all of these call-ins, that he had to come in, or if some of these were a mandatory weekend. Does he have to have does he ever get mandatory weekends? To your
Yes.
knowledge? Is that a
Yes.
yes? Okay. And you indicated that over those 12 times, some of them were only 5 or 10 minutes long.
I I don't know why that rubs me the wrong way, the way that they're calling them mandatory weekends. I don't actually think much of anything an employer wants me to do is mandatory, but that might just be my like defiant nature coming out. Like, I think that's actually exactly what that is. This is why I have trouble with the jobs. But seriously, yeah, no. Why am I so defiant when somebody says something's mandatory? I'm like, really? I'll fucking show you. Well, Gecko, you'd have to be okay with brunette hair. Oh, well, okay, I want to start a loony bin now. But here, the thing is, toonies, it's more likely that things would be $2 a toonie. mandatory weekends are scheduled overtime that's required. I know. I understand what it means. I still don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know why. I've had jobs where I've worked lots of hours. It's the being told that it's mandatory part that is itching me or making me upset about it. And I just, I don't know why. And I remember I used to have to be one of the worst bosses because one of the businesses that I used to work for, we had like a shift in the morning for 2 hours and then nothing for like 6 hours and then a shift in the afternoon or the evening for 2 hours or 4 hours, which is just pushing legal like Canadian employment laws in terms of how much of a break you can have and call it a split shift, but it's really shitty and you don't pay the people for the time in between, but they have to come to work twice. And it's not good. It's not good for employee morale. It's not good for anything. And I used to hate having to do that, but that's the reality of that job. Like the ship is there, we send the people off on their tour, and then there's nothing to do because they're on the tour, so they're done. Anyways, but I used to schedule people, and when we would hire people, I would tell them like, hey, check out the cruise ship schedule because you're not ever going to have a day off that you see on that schedule. Which is horrible again. And again, I would give people days off once in a while, but to start with, I was a hard ass. The type of person that I wouldn't like to work for. I'm realizing. Hi, Angel. Angel Eyes. Angel Eyes. Welcome to Friday night.
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Ms. Ives, any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Garcia, that concludes your testimony. Thank you. You're free to go. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Do I have any other witnesses waiting at this point?
Not at the moment.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Mr.
I'm sorry,
Ward,
go ahead.
Mr. Ward, you've been sworn in, so you can proceed, Miss Storm, and I guess we'll get Miss Ives back if she muted, I guess.
Yes, I am here. Sorry.
Okay,
Did we actually swear in Mr. Ward though?
he was sworn in before.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Ward, can you please put your name on the record? And how old are you?
I didn't hear any of that, Miss Storm, so he's gonna have to speak up and project like you're speaking across the room because we can't hear you otherwise.
My name is Porter John Ward.
Hi, Porter John Ward. Donald Westerdale is new here. Hi, Donald. I'm Paisley or KCC. Glad you're here. This is finally, we are here for the testimony of Dad Porter Ward. Quite the first name, Porter. Anyways, we are a crazy bunch, Donald, but I think you'll like it here. And feel free to ask any crazy questions. Oh, Paisley. That's my name. Like the ugly pattern. It's not ugly, actually. I usually say like your parents' ugly couch, but I have to see the person to like make the judgment call on the age to make that comment. I don't know what you look like. All I see is a lowercase d. So, you know, yeah. That's right. Easy. Anyways, okay, let's hear what Dad has to say. I hope he really keeps speaking up because it's not working.
And how old are you?
40.
And where are you employed? And what is your job description?
Okay, we're not hearing any of that for some reason.
We're not hearing it either.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine. We just
Let me.
couldn't hear him. I know the last two questions, we could see that he was talking, but we didn't hear anything.
Call the directional microphone built into your shitty laptop. And what's happening is your big fat face is taking all of the power. Sorry. This lady's fucking, like, again, she's a lawyer. She's wearing the same necklace I am. I've been wearing this in honor or whatever of her wearing this. But let's just keep in mind, I got this at Five Below. She's a lawyer. She should be able to afford a better computer and a better necklace. I'm a wannabe YouTuber. I don't have that ability. So I think her big fat face is getting in the way. And no offense, Alicia, but again, these chokers are not always flattering. Believe me, I'm constantly pulling mine down. Yours is like up here and it doesn't look good up here. Look, you see, it doesn't look good. Be down here. Actually, in fact, if she was classier, she would have like a more solid one. This is literally from like Claire's. Choker. I didn't even know her. Oh, those are the best ones.
Interesting. Okay, I'll try again. Did you hear his age as he said
Yes,
it?
we heard the age.
Okay. And Mr. Ward, where are you employed?
Advanced Special Schools.
Okay, it kind of broke in and out. So again, sir, I know you're in the room with Miss Storm, but act like you're kind of talking to us and talk louder, because sometimes with those mics, they're voice activated.
Oh my God. First of all, what they need to do is switch seats. Okay, that would solve this problem. But they ain't doing that. I'm laughing so hard. Look at his face too. He's like, sir, I'm yelling very loud already. Hey now, Claire's was high end back in the 90s. Hey now, I bought these necklaces recently to wear with, and I didn't buy them because of her. I bought a whole pack because I've been looking for them. Remember, I was so excited when I found these at Five Below. Oh, Florida, I miss you.
Your voice is too low. We won't hear anything.
If anything, I'm speaking louder than she is.
Okay, speak louder. We could hear that.
And just, if I may, Your Honor, for the next two hearings, I know this is a Zoom meeting, but due to the fact that I've had technical issues and now we're having issues with my client being heard, would it be at all possible or acceptable for my client to be in person at our next hearing?
Well, let me think about that. We
Okay.
don't usually do that. And again, I know you've had problems. Do you have an office that you could?
I work from home, Your Honor.
Oh,
That's why we're at the
Awesome,
courthouse
maybe.
today.
Well, ma'am, you need to fucking, again, you're a lawyer. What is happening? She says as her graininess is just overwhelming.
To try and make sure we've got room and privacy.
okay. Well, the other thing we could do is we had issues. You can always call the number and appear vis-a-vis, orally. You don't have to doesn't have to be on the screen. And usually you can always hear very well that way.
Okay. Well, then I will just continue on, Your Honor. Thank you.
Just shout to us, sir, so we hear you.
All right. Now, Porter, did you hear the testimony of Stephanie Garcia about the number of hours you work each week?
I did.
Okay. And is that accurate?
It is.
Okay. And on the weekends, is the description regarding overtime, the weekend hours accurate?
No.
All right, now speaking up, can you clarify to the court about mandatory versus call-in time?
So how mandatory works, a couple days.
Speak up, sir.
Mandatory before, a couple days before the weekend. My supervisor or supervisor might ask me that I need to work to cover any situation that's needed.
Okay, and is that? When you said is that the mandatory one?
That would be a mandatory, yes. I don't have an option. They need me to be there.
Okay, and how?
As almost a supervisor position myself, I'm responsible for everybody.
Okay, how often do you get called in for that mandatory time?
That's not very often at all. I think I've only maybe done 2 Saturdays.
In the last year?
Yeah,
Okay, so of those 12 times that Ms. Garcia testified to, roughly, to the best of your knowledge, 2 of those times were mandatory and the rest were the quick, come in as needed?
it is possible, yes. The short ones, they call me in because somebody can't figure out how to start the press back up. Or if there's a catastrophic issue, I have to come in and give a lead on what to do.
Okay. And so you work 6 a.m. until 2 p.m.?
I do.
And what city is that in?
That's in Battle Creek.
Okay, how far is your employer from, first, let's say Battle Creek, Montessori, how far?
What are you guys talking about? Honestly. It's not see-through. Ugh, still see-through. Fucking shit. Even without the green screen, it's pulling it out.
Far away is
Hey,
that?
Miss Storm, you're breaking up now too, and we
I'm so sorry. I'm going to
Okay,
get real close and
speak
be real
into the, yeah,
obnoxious.
speak into the computer. We can hear you now.
I apologize for the faces being this close. During the,
This is ridiculous. Look how
And-
close they are. Do we see how close they are? And like, this is nuts. You guys are kidding. I'm kidding. I changed the setting. So this is without a green screen. This is with the automatic virtual background. So you can you see how it's a little green around my head? And you can see the green behind me a little bit more. That is but you can still see the green in my dress if you look at it, etc. Or I change it and now I put on the actual green screen. Now it's pulled all the green out of the video. Now you don't see the green around me because it's literally taken the green out of the video. And so that's why now it's completely see-through. They're different settings.
times, so you start work at 6. How far away do you work from Battle Creek, Montessori?
I believe it's about 3 miles.
All right, so that takes you approximately how many minutes to get there?
5 to 8, depending on traffic, stoplights.
Okay. And from Dudley, how far away is your work from Dudley?
About 15 minutes.
Did you say 15 minutes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And do you know how far away Battle Creek, Montessori is from Danielle's home?
About 2 miles.
All right, so it's about similar to what it is for you for work?
For work.
Okay, so she lives close to Battle Creek, Montessori. What about her employment?
Her employment's further away. I'd say 6 miles to the one and probably 65 miles maybe to the other.
All right,
If that's correct to my knowledge.
and is this based on your understanding of where Ms. Newbern is currently working?
My understanding.
And to your understanding, where do you believe she works?
The Dude is a dispensary in Coldwater. And then Vegas Strip Gentlemen's Club in Battle Creek on Raymond Road.
What? She works at a dispensary in a strip club? Mayor, I actually got to work on that tonight. I'm working on it. YouTube has been my focus lately. Did they just say that she works at a strip club and a dispensary? I've never worked at a strip club, believe it or not, but I did used to manage a dispensary. Cool beans. Is that what he said? There-ish. There-ish. Let's see what we see.
And the one that's in Coldwater, is that the one that's really the 65 miles away?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
My understanding.
And where do you, to your understanding,
Oh, now it's back. Tell me why it ain't nothing but a heartache. Is it back? Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Okay. We were just hearing, yeah, we have internet issues. You think they have something going on, Vicky?
My understanding.
and where do you, to your understanding, where do you believe she works?
The dude is a dispensary in Coldwater. And then Vegas Strip Gentlemen's Club in Battle Creek on Raymond Road.
And the one that's in Coldwater, is that the one that's really the 65 miles away?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Do you and Ms. Newbern share your work schedules with each other?
And mine is consistent. It doesn't change ever. She does when she works at the dude, she shares that with me. To my knowledge, she only works Thursday through the weekend at Vegas Strip.
So Thursday, Friday, Saturday is what you estimate or think she works on at the Vegas? Or excuse me, the Strip?
Yes,
Okay. The other days of the week she works at the Dude?
I believe so.
When you say that's a dispensary, do you mean that's a marijuana dispensary?
Yes.
And do you know what her position is at either of those locations?
I believe she is currently the DJ at Vegas Strip. She was bartending, and I don't know if she still does that at the same time.
DJ?
As for the dude, I have no clue.
Okay. And have you asked Ms. Newbern for her work schedule in the past?
Okay, Ms. Sturm, you
Sorry,
just went out again.
So sorry.
All I'm just saying is just project. Don't talk like you're talking to each other in the room. Talk like you're trying
Trying
to talk to
real
me.
hard to yell at the screen. I apologize.
Yell
I
at the
will-
screen if you
I'll
have
keep
to.
yelling.
What part do I need to repeat?
I think we heard that. It was just her question that I didn't hear. The next question.
Okay.
And of course, it fell out of my brain as I was laughing about seeing my face 2 inches from the screen. I apologize. As far as we already heard that, so you don't have a lot of flexibility in your start and end time.
Are you able to hear that, Miss Ives? Some
No.
reason it's not coming through.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can fuss with my sound settings on this just a little bit.
Don't, honey. You
Now we
can't.
can hear you fine.
Well, of course, now.
You try to call on the phone.
Yeah.
The phone call.
How about you just?
But it could just be the mic, just unidirectionally, just picking up from.
Yeah, I think what it is it's your mic, and when you're off, when you have it showing on both of you, you're off to the side, it's not activating, so we can't hear it.
Gotcha.
Because when you turned it, it was fine. We heard everything, but when you turn it back, then when you're kind of going off to the side, we can't hear anything.
Okay. Did you hear what my question was, or do I need to repeat that?
You're gonna need to repeat that question.
Okay, not a problem. It's true. Is it true that you don't have flexibility in your start and end times for work?
I'm gonna
Yes, and
object. It's a leading question.
Excuse me, Miss
Let me
Ives?
correct. That was a leading question. I said I
Now, Miss,
Now it's her turn. Oh my god, what a clusterfuck this is. Oh, terrible. Remember, we have wasted 3+ hours, 4, 5+ hours listening to these people's preschool teachers talk about how average this kid is. And now, and these lawyers, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. You know, the only people winning here are the lawyers. The judge knows it, the lawyers know it, and the people involved don't seem to know it. But this is only profitable for them. The child is suffering, and it's just tough. You know, it's tough. Also, this is partly the attorney's fault. She's sitting in the courtroom. Like, do you not have flex workspaces for rent in Michigan? Where I work here, or here where we have, I could rent an office space with good internet for a day, a half, you know, all those things. There's lots of people that work from home that do that here, that do it for meetings. They do it for lots of different things. Flex workspaces, they have shared spaces, they have private offices. Like, you can just, I don't understand why she wouldn't already have this sussed out. Or why can't he come to your house? Who else is there? That's my question. Yeah, billable hours, Donald. Abso-fucking-lutely. I wish I had a billable rate.
Ives just froze up.
Oh, no.
Miss Ives, you froze up there, so I didn't hear anything as you were starting to speak.
I
I think she's
Eating.
objecting to the form
We're
of
not hearing anything.
Can you hear me? Well, interestingly enough, a message for the first time today just said my internet was unstable, but it went away. So maybe you can hear me now.
We're hearing you now, yes.
Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
I couldn't resist. I could not resist doing it. The dial-up sound. This is nuts. These people need good internet. They're lawyers.
And
I know what it
objected-
is. The two of you are just conspiring to make sure that I have an in-person hearing, I think.
You caught us.
Go ahead.
I
If we continue, we'll ask you to get on your phone, and then you can mute yourself, and then you can talk through the phone. We can pick it up that way.
I objected to the format of the question, Your Honor, and that it was leading because she said, isn't it true that? And she went on to give a statement.
Okay, well, just
So-
reformulate the question, Ms. Storm.
Will do. Do you have any flexibility in your start or end times?
Normally, no. There is some flexibility. I have to ask for it, and then my supervisors will allow for me to change start and end times, but then it would be a schedule set at that point.
Okay, and so if there's an emergency, though, you're able to leave work to handle those emergencies?
Absolutely.
And you do provide health, medical, and health, dental, and vision insurance for Demetrius?
Correct.
What time do you leave for work in the morning?
I leave my house anywhere between 5:30 and 5:45.
And so who is then responsible for ensuring that the children get to school?
on which days?
Well, I guess let's start with, Monday and we can go through and we can just say what days change.
So early in the week, Demetrius's mom is responsible for his arrival to school, as he is with her in her care. When he is with me, we have help from the grandmother to get the children to school, as both children go to the same school on Thursdays and Fridays, alternating Thursdays.
Okay. And when you say the grandmother, do you mean your grandmother or Demetrius's grandmother?
No, this is Coralina's grandmother.
Coralina's grandmother. So Alicia Skurlock's mother?
Yes.
Okay. And is she someone who assists you with travel, transportation, and childcare as needed?
Just mainly in the mornings to get the kids to school. As obviously we all are at work already at this point. She makes sure they're up and around and available. After school, it is me that picks them up.
Okay. Now, does the grandmother come over to the house to get the kids to school, or do you guys take the kids to grandmother's?
No, she comes to the house in the morning.
Okay, so the kids have the ability to stay home and get ready for school then?
Correct.
Okay. And on the days that if we have a result where the judge says that Demetrius is going to go to Dudley, how will you plan? And you are given nights where you have to have an overnight and you may be taking him to school in the morning. How will you make arrangements to ensure that he is able to attend school at Dudley?
Initially, I don't know how I would make that happen. I would have to totally change my work schedule, which then interferes with me picking up Coralina from school.
Okay, and when Coralina and Demetrius go to the same school, they're obviously getting out at the same time?
Correct.
Now, what about when he goes to Dudley? How does that differ from when they get out of school?
On Wednesdays, they get out at the same time because it's very hard to be in two places at once. I don't know how you can split yourself into two and be in two places. It's not going to happen. So usually on Wednesdays, I was picking up Demetrius early. And then after on Mondays and Tuesdays, I was initially picking up Demetrius after I picked up Coralina.
Okay, so you were trying to, so did I hear you that you were trying to stagger as far as who gets picked up to meet the pickup deadlines?
Correct.
Okay, and we heard testimony earlier today about the fact that you've had to pick Demetrius up early from school, 15 to 30 minutes early on the days that you've picked him up. Is that accurate?
Roughly, yes.
Okay, and can you explain again why you've had to pick him up early those days?
It's the conflict of time.
How much time after school do you have to pick Demetrius up at Dudley?
At Dudley, it depends on the day. Again, Mondays and Tuesdays, after picking up Coralina, I had to go directly to the Dudley school to pick up Demetrius. And then on Wednesdays, I can't pick up one or the other at the same time, so I had to pick up Demetrius first in order to meet the deadline for Coralina.
Okay. What time does Coralina have to be picked up by?
3 o'clock. And that's every day.
Okay. And let's switch topics just a little bit first. How do you and Danielle share responsibility for making the routine appointments for Demetrius's health, vision, and dental needs?
We try to conversate. It doesn't go as well as you would expect.
I don't know that I've ever tried to conversate with anybody in my life. Is that a proper word? Is that a proper word?
A lot of what happens is I'm being told what's happening, and then I have to deal with it because then it's not followed through on. And then I'm still ultimately responsible because if somebody wants to drag their feet, I had to pick up the slack. So if the appointment needs to be made, then the appointment gets made.
So what do you mean by?
Oh, he got a little angry there. Did you guys hear that? That was weird. Did you hear that? That was weird. He got like a little bit amped up. Obviously, that's a problem for him. Her not making the appointments and him having to do it. Oh, fucking get over it, buddy. Get over it, says the lady who's not very good at making appointments. Whatever.
Ms. Storm, we're not hearing you now.
Sorry, when you said that you are told what's happening, can you give more explanation to the court what you mean by that?
He needs to have this done.
Has to happen. This is what's happening. This is how that goes along. I'm not consulted, hey, should we get Demetrius in for this, or should we do this for that? I'm told after the fact on multiple occasions, but when it comes to certain things, I have to pick up the slack because it's not continued through.
Can you give an example to the court of a incident recently within the last year or two where it wasn't followed through?
The dentist.
Okay, what happened with the dentist?
The dentist, he needs to get his teeth checked.
Yeah, we're not hearing you now, sir.
He needs to get his teeth checked. He needs to get his teeth checked, is what I'm told. Okay. He goes, his mom takes him to Grace Health. I don't know what the issue is or why it didn't happen. Ben said multiple times that he needs his teeth checked. I finally picked up the ball. I took him to trying to think of the name of the place now. Right now I'm drawing a blank. Highland Dentistry on Highland Street in Battle Creek. They told me that he had 4 cavities and then he needs to see a specialist. So I have now since had him to the dentist multiple times to get this specialist set up to get his teeth fixed.
Have you tried to talk with Ms. Newbern about these appointments?
I have
When did you try to talk with her about them?
on multiple occasions.
Can you give an example or like a rough time frame of when that was?
Without looking, I couldn't tell you the exact time or the date, but it's definitely been on multiple occasions that has happened.
I gave you a moment to review
An orgasm might result in cream after.
your notes. Would that refresh your memory as to when you had these conversations with her or tried to?
I would.
Permission to be able to give my client a moment to look at that?
Yep, go ahead, sir.
Everyone be quiet. Tin Man's here. Don't speak. Don't speak. No, we're not going to speak. Tin Man's here. We're not going to speak. Oh, Chuck, I can't do it anymore. I don't know why we were being quiet, Tin Man. It was a joke, but it went on too long, and I was just praying that they would speak so that I didn't have to. But silence is something I can't live in. I must fill the silence. Thank you, Chuck. Have a great weekend. Also, what the fuck? Why aren't they talking? Why so quiet? What's going on? Why? It's like when I try and act normal. You know, have you ever done that? Maybe you are normal. Well, do you ever try and act weird? Okay. If you're weird like me, sometimes you try and act normal and you sort of, you know, it's hard for me to know. It's hard. It's hard. I'll just say that. It's very hard. It doesn't last long. It's quite hilarious as I try it. But I wonder, do normal people try and act weird ever? I don't know. Also, it's only quiet because they're talking amongst each other. Like they're literally not talking anymore. There she goes.
Okay,
Recess.
we'll take a 5-minute recess.
5-minute
Thank you,
comfort
sir.
break would be great. Thank you.
Yep.
Perfect. Sounds like a terrible sex slave. Mine? That's not anybody's what they're saying. Name of my sex tape? I have many. Many. I guess we can put on the next little bit to start with. It's only been an hour and 20 minutes. Still early on a Friday. Fine, give me a moment. Hi, Cheryl. I'm gonna creed frame here, so just handle it like men or women. Looking for the bits that we thought we had. It's very hard, but it doesn't last long. Hey, you know what I learned about sex is that it is not always about the end result. Rather, the fun getting there together. Or apart, you know, whatever is your thing. Sometimes just like watching somebody else. Anyways, you all know that. Exclamation mark kink, exclamation mark gobble, exclamation mark. Oh, there's a few other really good ones. Anyways. What do you think? Like, literally, these are the exact same necklaces. Me and her. Me and her. What do we think the judge's kink is? Maybe like being late? I don't know. You know, people, nobody surprises me anymore with their kinky stuff. Like the really vanilla stuff sort of surprises me, but nothing kinky surprises me. Believe me. The things I've done. Removed from studio. Heard that before. All right, let's go.
We're not hearing.
Hey, Clark.
I've come across a few where a message where I said that I have told you multiple times that he has a dentist appointment. At this time, Demetrius was with his grandmother.
And how do you know he was with his grandmother at that time?
She told me so.
She as in Donnie?
Yes.
Okay. And that text message that you found where it references the discussions about the dentist, what date approximately was that?
I reminded her on June 25th
Of
that
2023?
Yes,
Okay, so June 25th of 2023 was a text conversation.
this was after I was denied my parenting time as usual at this time. I reminded her that he had a dentist appointment, which I had told her about a couple weeks beforehand. And at that time, she said he was not going to make it because he was in Detroit with his grandmother.
So did he end up making that appointment?
I had to reschedule.
Okay, and did you tell Ms. Newbern about that appointment?
It just sounds crazy to me. I forget that they're in Michigan, so it's not as nutso to be like send a small child to Detroit. But you have to understand, from my perspective, over here on the west coast of Canada, it sounds so foreign. Yeah, the judge's kink is that he wears nothing under those robes. I get it, Judge. I get it. Sometimes I look like I'm wearing nothing. Sometimes that's on purpose.
I did.
Okay, and did Demetrius go to that appointment?
Yes.
Okay, and is that when you found out about his condition of his teeth?
Yes, that's when they referred me to the specialist that I found in Grand Rapids.
Okay, have you talked about the specialist with Ms. Newbern?
Limitly, yes.
Okay, did you tell her that that was what was recommended?
Yep.
Okay, did she have any response to you about that?
Nothing out of the ordinary, just okay, pretty much. No recourse in that matter.
So it wasn't like she said absolutely not or said absolutely.
Absolutely not. Chris, is that something you hear a lot? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm joking, Crass. Hope you are well. Guys, please check out the Troyalty Podcast. Jonathan, are you still here? Do we have a Crass command? And limitly, again, Kay, I've noticed that too. Is that a fucking word? No. He's not even using real words. They're just sounding like crazy. These people are so petty. So petty. Oh, you guys are. Hey. Hey. Love it. Hilarious. Look at her, like she's so close to the screen. She has not fixed her choker once. I'm impressed by that. I have fixed mine multiple times since being live, and this is 5 hours. Maybe hers is different. Maybe hers is better, or maybe her neck is fatter. Or maybe my neck's fatter. I don't know. You know, fat neck used to be a real turn on to some people.
Absolutely, yes. It wasn't a big confirmation or denial one way or the other.
No.
Okay. And those the Grace Health appointments, is that something that has he been to Grace Health before for dental needs?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Is that something where he has been billed for any appointments there?
Most of everything that his mother has taken him to, other than emergency rooms, are from Grace Health.
Okay. And how do you know about that?
I actually had to go down to Grace Health to get the documentation to understand what was going on with the insurance at the time.
Is that because you have the insurance for Demetrius?
That is correct.
Did you receive anything from any medical providers about the insurance?
I have not. The only thing I was told that I needed to go down and get the insurance straightened out due to the fact that they were trying to charge Donnie $700 and some odd for some medical bills that were due. And come to find out, at that time I was not on the insurance and they had no information. That's why they were trying to charge her almost $800 for medical bills.
And did you get that straightened out with Grace Health?
I actually got that straightened out with my HR. I went to my HR and she took care of that for me.
Okay, that would have been Stephanie Garcia.
Correct.
Okay, so you let her know about the insurance issue and they helped you straighten that out?
Well,
I'm sorry, but absolutely every HR department has a Stephanie. Oh, I'm so fucking mad I didn't catch that before. No offense to any Stephanies out there. I don't give a fuck how you spell it, with an F, with a PH, with an IE, with a Y, with an I. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I'm just sorry. I'm just sorry. But there's always a Stephanie that works in the fucking HR department. And they hated Paisley and my unique name. They're Stephanie ass. Paisley, can you come in here for a couple minutes? We need to talk with you about a few things. Yeah, sure, Stephanie. What's up?
partially, she did her part in that aspect, but I had to get Donnie to re-add me to the documentation in Grace Health so that way I had access to that. They would not give me any information because I was not allowed to.
Okay, so when do you remember contacting Grace Health about that?
After our last court date is when I went and, no, I'm sorry, excuse me. If you're talking about that specific time, that was beforehand. That was earlier in the year in 2023.
Okay, so would you say spring, summer of 2023?
I want to say it was probably spring because the snow was gone at
Okay,
that point.
okay. So it was after winter, but not full into summer yet?
Absolutely.
Okay. And we heard some testimony earlier today about Demetrius's glasses. Did he need glasses?
Yes, he does need glasses. I believe she took him to Grace Health for that as
Okay,
well.
we're not hearing you.
Lean in and speak up.
I believe she took him to Grace Health for that as well. I'm not sure if it was in their network or what. I'm not a fan of how Grace Health does their childcare. I since took him to remember the name of the vision right offhand.
That's fine. We don't need the name. That's fine.
But I had to have this is what his job is. This is all he does. There's nothing else that this doctor does. He retested his eyes. He said that they were close with the glasses, but they were off.
The glasses prescription that he had?
Yes, from Grace Health.
Okay. And did that prescription get updated and tweaked to better fit Demetrius?
It did.
Okay. And did you talk with Ms. Newbern about these appointments and the eye issues?
I did. I told her I was going to have him rechecked because I didn't trust Grace Health in those few short words.
Okay. And does he have glasses now?
He does.
Okay. And who provided him with glasses?
I purchased those.
And that was from the eye doctor that we can't remember the name of necessarily?
Yes.
Okay. And do we know whether Danielle had purchased glasses for Demetrius?
According to her, yes.
Okay.
And
When you say according to her, what do you mean?
that she had paid for them. According to the records, that's not the case.
What do you mean according to the records? What records did you consult?
The records I received from Grace Health saying that she still owes $172 for said glasses.
Okay. Is that something that Danielle tried to talk with you about, those that glasses cost?
No, she did not discuss anything about what was owed to those glasses.
Okay. Has she tried to ask you to compensate her financially for any of the glasses or medical services related to the dentist or the glasses as we've been discussing?
She hasn't taken them to the dentist. That would have done me. As for the glasses, we had mentioned to each other that they need to be paid or to split the cost. I spent personally almost $400 to get Demetrius's new glasses, the correct ones. And she did affirm that she was going to pay me half of that, and I have not received anything.
When you say she was going to pay you for half of that, do you mean Ms. Newbern?
Correct.
And how did she say that she was planning to help you with that cost?
She said she would split it with me.
Okay, was that via text message, in person, phone call,
That was via text.
via text? And approximately when did you have that text conversation?
I'd have to consult my notes in order to find that.
Okay. I'm gonna have you flip through, but while you're flipping, I'm gonna continue to ask you questions, okay?
Okay.
So you look for that date that we're talking.
That's funny, Gecko. I don't need glasses either. I, in fact, have better than 20/20 vision. I have like, whatever the way you say it, I have 15/20 or 20/15, whatever it is. I have better than perfect vision, better than perfect hearing too. I had an audiologist test because I wanted to be a 911 dispatcher, and I had to do all these different testings. And one of them was this hearing test, and the dude said I had the best hearing he'd seen in years. I was like, so when I've been telling people like I can hear them really far away, he's like, oh yeah, you can. I was like, yeah, I know. And he's like, you're especially like the ability to pick up voices and like words is very high. And I was like, I know, I've been telling people that for years, and they just think I'm crazy. He's like, no, you're probably hearing people and televisions. No, it's 15/20. Like what people normally can see at 15 have to be at 15 feet to see. I can be at 20 feet to see. So I have like an extra 5 on that. And also my ears are tiny. I have absolutely tiny ears. And we'll remember a couple years ago the jalapeno story where I chopped up jalapeno, got it in my eye, and then had to have my tear ducts flushed because I had literal jalapeno in my eye. And then they tested my eyesight afterwards and it was just 20/20. And I was like, no, that's not good enough. And the doctor was like, no, that's like perfect vision. It's fine. And I was like, no, I'm better than perfect. And I just had jalapeno in my eye plus needles in my eyes. I think that I should give it a little bit of time and maybe we'll test it in a bit. He's like, well, that's not covered under this Canadian healthcare. And I was like, that's no problem. I'll pay for that one myself. And I made an appointment and went in for an eye test at this optician. And they were like, we have never seen somebody so excited about their eye exam before. Because when they gave me the results and I was like better than perfect vision, I was like, yeah, that's fucking right. I told you. And they're like, yeah, it's a weird way to react to that, but okay. I was like, it's a long story, whatever. Involves a jalapeno. Great. Make a great private eye. But I do wear fake glasses around here, but I can't find any of them right now. But I do wear them.
Talking about, but I'm going to keep going so that we're not wasting time. What about the routine dental and vision appointments, health appointments for Demetrius? What his well childs, things like that? Do you usually take him or make those appointments? Does Danielle, or how is that divided? That's okay. How the routine appointments for Demetrius, well child visits, that sort of thing. Who makes those appointments and who takes him?
Not hearing you, sir.
I'm sorry. I've been making appointments
For how long?
for the last couple of years.
Okay. And do you tell Ms. Newbern about those appointments?
I did tell her, like I said, I don't agree with how Grace Health works. I initially had told her that I was going to take him to Serial City for his medical needs, and as well as finding the dentist at the time for all that.
Okay. And do you provide Ms. Newbern with the information as far as who the medical providers are that you're consulting with or getting second opinions from?
I have.
Okay. Do you know whether she has had any conversations with those medical providers to ask her own questions? Only if you know, I don't want you to speculate.
Yeah, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
That's okay. Do you know whether Ms. Newbern has reached out to these medical professionals that you've consulted with for a second opinion?
I do not.
Okay. Did you list Ms. Newbern on the paperwork with these individuals?
Yes,
Okay, so these medical providers would know that Ms. Newbern is also a parent of decision-making power and able to weigh in and get the information?
that is correct.
When Danielle makes appointments or takes Demetrius in for appointments because he's feeling sick or something like that,
Cellulite yoga pants. My sister recently was diagnosed with an astigmatism as well, and she said to me, she's like, Paisley, I think you have this too. And something about like looking when you look at the lights and they're like sort of spread out at night. Like, is that not normal? Because like I can see things, but it's when I look at a light, it's like a star. You know what I mean? My sister said that that's like not normal. Halos. I don't know if they're halos. And it's most evident, like, yeah, that's always how it is. I just thought that's how it was. And then my sister said, we'll try on my glasses. And I tried them on and they didn't really work. Then I flipped them upside down and things were a little bit different. Like, for example, if I look at the microwave, like I can see what it says, but it's also like below it as well, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like I'm good. I mean, I've been checked. Oh, that's not normal. And yes, the lines on lights mean astigmatism. Yeah. So apparently I have that. So wait. You can have better than 20/20 vision and an astigmatism. That's crazy. What if my vision gets even more amazing if I get glasses for my astigmatism? Also, we already know that my brain works differently because I have aphantasia, so I don't have any visual imagery in my head. So maybe that's why the astigmatism doesn't affect me much. Like, I'm not ever remembering images, so I'm not really worried about the way that they come across as much. I don't know. We've only learned that about me recently in like the last 2 years, that I don't have a visual imagery. And what I've also learned is that my daughter does. And there was a weird time period where I was learning about that. And I was like, hey, you have the pictures in your head? Like, did you know that people have pictures in their head? And she was like, yeah, I do. And I was just like, oh my God, I was blown away. Really happy for her, but blown away. Yeah, I might just need them for night driving. Huh? If only I had healthcare. Only if I use one of my secret superpowers, and I don't use that one very much. All right, let's go for another 5 minutes, 5 or so minutes of this testimony, and then we gotta call it because I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired, and I want to go figure out if I need glasses.
Does she keep you updated on those appointments?
Rarely.
Say that louder for the,
Rarely.
okay, now, how do you find out then that she's taking him to these appointments?
That's after the fact.
Okay, do you find out via text message?
Good point. What a good point. Paisley, you're such a stupid person when you put things in. Ow. Oh, I just scratched my face. Hopefully it doesn't bleed. Okay. The bonus clip. Yes. Let me think about it. I have to think about the one that I was planning on doing. Oh, whatever. We'll just do it. That's what it is. We'll just do it. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
.76 DC, and Mr. Quinn, you had a few moments to collect your thoughts. Are there any further questions of this witness? And Ms. Kartopoulos, I'd like to remind you that you are still under oath.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Quinn.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I have a couple of questions left. So Reagan, do you remember me asking you some questions about lessons Kaspars has learned?
Yes.
And I think your answers were, well, I think he learned lessons through counseling, reunification, and talking to you and your relationship and exposure to what's going on. You remember that?
Sure. Yeah.
Now, the court has found on previous occasions that Casper has engaged in a cycle of violence and control towards Janelle, AK, that the party's marriage was plagued with emotional and verbal abuse by Kaspers, that Kaspers has demonstrated a pattern of engaging in alarming and concerning behavior, and that his explanations for his actions are nonsensical, unbelievable, and frankly absurd. And from what I was hearing from you, that he has pretty much categorically denied that type of behavior.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this question.
I was going to say she did indicate that he did acknowledge emotional and psychological abuse.
Okay.
He just did not admit to any physical abuse.
Okay, so from those other things that he's denied, everything else, is he denied engaging in a pattern of a cycle of violence and control toward Janelle and AK to you?
Violence and control.
Correct.
Has he denied that?
Yes.
Yes.
Has he denied to you that the party's marriage was plagued with emotional and verbal abuse perpetrated by him?
He's said that he's done that.
Okay, so he's admitted that.
Yeah, this is the bonus clip. Hold on. No more bets. I don't know what to say. I need to make a transition for bonus clip or something. Ooh, I know. I have an idea. Wouldn't it be cool if it was shaped like a boner and it said bonus clip and it got hard and came up?
Has he denied to you that he has demonstrated a pattern of engaging in alarming and concerning behavior?
Your Honor, I got to object to this. That is so vague. How could she possibly respond to that?
I'm going to allow her version of an answer to that. She may answer it to the extent that she would know or that she has knowledge. So I realize it's a vague question, but it is an overbroad, but it is a subject matter that is at the heart of a lot of this. So if she has any knowledge, she may definitely answer. So I'm going to overrule the objection and allow her to answer. If the question needs to be re-asked, Ms. Kartopoulos, you can request that.
Okay, please, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes. Has Kaspers denied to you engaging in a pattern of alarming and concerning behaviors to Janelle and or AK?
He's never used that terminology with me. However, I also have been through a divorce myself, and I've been in my own toxic relationship with my ex-husband, and I have said things and done things that I am not that person today. So yes, Kaspers has admitted to things that he would say he's ashamed of doing or saying, but I guess that's all I have to say on that.
What has he
Uh,
admitted to you that he is?
I guess we don't talk about this currently, about all of the things that he said or done. So I guess I can't remember of something specific that he said or has done, but it's,
Give me one example, because all I've gotten is a lot of general things. I haven't gotten really any specifics from you. Give me one specific example of what he has admitted to you that he's ashamed of.
I guess I already gave the example with his daughter, with drop-offs and pickups. I know that there has been arguments that he's talked about. I wasn't there, so I don't know what the specific argument would be, but just when arguments would get heated. But that's it. I don't know, I guess. I don't
Okay.
remember.
So taking a step back, you said he's denied engaging in a cycle of violence and control toward Janelle and or AK. So if he has denied that, is it safe to say, in your opinion, that he hasn't learned any lessons with respect to violence and control? Or how to better that, or scratch that? That he hasn't learned any lessons with respect to not engaging in violence and control?
I've never witnessed anything like that with him, so I guess he must have learned something, right? If you guys are claiming that he has, and I have never seen anything like that, so I guess that's all I have to say about that. I don't know.
Well, if he's denying it, how?
I don't think she ever said he denied it. I think she said he's never talked to her or admitted to her about something like that. That's different than a denial.
I believe she did say that he denied that when I asked her directly.
Okay, I'll rewatch the testimony to make sure, but I thought I remembered it being more of a, he's not admitted to anything like that. So, okay,
We'll tell on that because I have different.
okay, please proceed.
Now, has he talked to you, meaning Kaspars, about the incident that has kind of been the springboard to where we are right now? Specifically, the threat he made about shooting Janelle but keeping her alive long enough to watch AK pack her bag to take her Latvia forever. Has he talked to you about that?
Yes, he's talked to me about that.
Has he denied making that threat?
Yes, he's denied that.
Now, I think your exam said, in your opinion, that Janelle can't put the divorce behind her, and that's, do you recall that?
I never said that.
Well, did you say something along the lines that Janelle can't get over the divorce, in your opinion?
I said in a general statement that that could be the case in any relationship. I don't know that that's the case with Janelle.
So you don't think that's the case here, or you do?
Can you ask the question again, what you're referring to?
I believe you said in the past that there may be, and you just said this, situations where Janelle or whoever else can't get past the divorce. Do you recall that?
Yes, okay, sure.
Do you believe that is the case here?
Speaking from my own experience in my divorce, I know how hard it is to get over a relationship or a marriage and go through a divorce.
This is the new wife. They've been together for 7 years. They have twins together. The ex-wife is in the bottom. They've been divorced for 7 years, and this is a modification of custody, I think. And there's a TPO against each of them have TPOs against the other. He also, Kaspars, I do have more of this lady's testimony. I have all of her testimony. This is the end of Cross. But I haven't pieced all the rest of it together yet, but I do have more of it and I will put it together. We'll watch it all in one. I wish I had more of the hearing. I didn't catch it all, but I don't think it's over. I imagine that it's going to continue, so I'll hopefully keep an eye out. One thing to keep in mind that you wouldn't know, but you will when we watch the rest of the testimony that I have, is that she is a nurse, a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So she is very, I guess, educated, I would put it. Like that's a very, it's a hard job. Oh, don't worry about it, Remy. Not at all. No, I see when I put things in the thing, I do that to make myself do it. And I need y'all to keep me honest with it. So I appreciate it. We'll watch the rest of this clip. Like I said, I have probably another half hour or more of her testimony in separate clips, but actually even more, maybe 40 minutes. But this one I got in like a 30-minute chunk or 20-minute chunk. So
with a child. And so I myself struggled with that. So I could see that being the case with Janelle.
Now, we heard some testimony about your relationship with your father and that you were subjected to abuse. I think you mentioned him taking a belt to you or something like that. Do you recall that?
Mhm. I do.
Was there other types of abuse, such as verbal and emotional?
Yes, I specifically remember one of the most scary moments with my father. It was middle of the night. He had put my younger brother to sleep on the couch, and my stepmom had come down the stairs to see if he had fallen asleep, and he just so happened to wake up, and I woke up to him screaming, so upset that my brother had woken up that he choked my stepmom so hard to the fact that she soiled herself. And then he said that he was going to do that to me next.
How old were you with that?
I think I was 12.
And is it safe to say that that incident and the other incidents that you have described have had a lasting impression upon you?
They have had a lasting impression upon me, yes.
And I think you testified that they had such an impression that when you were 17, you severed your relationship with your father. Is that right?
Correct. When I was 19, yeah, I've completely severed it. I didn't have to go see him anymore after I was 17. And I tried to keep a relationship semi going, but at some point you have to save yourself in a sense.
And
So,
you saving yourself was kind of severing that relationship when you were 19, right?
yes, yep,
And you have not had any relationship with your father since that time. Is that accurate?
correct.
So it's safe to say that those incidents that have happened in the past have and can still very much resonate with you. I guess they've left a lasting, long impression that still to this day have impacted you.
No, definitely.
I have no further questions right now.
But here's the problem with this lady's testimony. If she's to be believed, she suffered that as a child. She grew up to become a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So she is intimately knowledgeable and educated on mental health conditions and people's reactions to different types of trauma situations. And she's a mandated reporter of abuse. And so if we're to believe her, her husband down there has never been abusive to her. She's never worried about it. And that this is all an exaggeration from the ex-wife's side. I think this is why this testimony to me was very interesting, because as a professional and then as a spouse, and they asked her some pretty direct questions in the other testimony I have about her being willing to leave if he ever did anything. And she said, yeah, I would leave immediately. He's never shown any sort of signs like that at all. But then it also came out that he had some protective order against him in Latvia as well, which is weird. So again, interesting case. Connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging into your router or moving closer to it. No.
For the witness.
Thank you. Any further examination, Mr. Carpenter?
Sorry, Your Honor. No.
Okay.
I do not have any further
In that
questions.
case, was there an agreement between in that case, Ms. Kartopoulos, you are excused. You can stick around for a
Okay.
couple of minutes or not, or leave.
Okay.
Your choice at this point. Gentlemen, was there an agreement to send in closing statements in writing, or?
My understanding from the last hearing, that what the court said, we were gonna do written closings, and then there were replies. I thought, and Rob, interrupt me if I am saying something wrong or different than your recollection, that the court had our written closings due Monday, I want to say the 15th or the 8th. And then
I can't remember if there was a date, but
I was actually going to ask this question because I don't recall the due dates, and I didn't know if
I
the
don't.
order.
Well, this may make a dent in that, and that's I can give the oral opinion on April 30th at 10 a.m.
well, when do you want then, Your Honor? Are we still
The week before would be fine. So it depends on when you want to get them in. I'm going to be on vacation from the 15th through the 19th, whatever that week of April is. So it's like the third week of April, I believe. I'll be gone on vacation.
That's the 15th.
Yeah. So that week. So you guys can turn them in that week, and they'll be waiting for me on my desk when I get back, or you can turn them in the following Monday, giving a couple days for any rebuttal.
How about we do them on, because I'm looking at the calendar, the 30th is a Tuesday.
I've already got it marked on my
So
calendar.
we could do either the 19th or the 22nd. That's a Friday, or the 20th Monday.
No problem. I'll look forward.
Rob, do you have a preference?
I was gonna say whatever's easiest for you guys. You guys know your schedules better than I do.
I would prefer the 22nd, so I had the weekend if something.
We're just scheduling, so we don't even need to listen to this. I apologize. No, that's the wrong one, dumbass. Anyways, it is time for all of us to go. Good night. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out tonight, Donald. I hope you had a good time. We have a fun time around here. And everybody else, I really appreciate each and every one of you being here. Please remember that, do not confirm nor deny having been to Latvia. Seriously. Check out KLF. Great. I commented on that video recently, Kay. They were lawyers fighting just like this. These lawyers are fighting, but they were more petty. The ones that couldn't agree on the 9 a.m. thing. I was listening to that while making dinner. Kay has a great channel. Please go check that out. What about Estonia? I mean, really, right? What about Estonia? Nobody's ever thinking of Estonia. Wenlaw, thanks so much for being here. I hope everybody has bites and likes to be bit. Seriously, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Remember that I love you. I am proud of you. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Come on.